Days of Our Lives, spoilers for Friday, July 18th, reveal that Gabby Hernandez will cry to Xander Kyriakis, while Rafe Hernandez receives an SOS call. Holly Jonas and Ariana. Ari Horton's escape will also fail. So let's talk about what's ahead on Friday's duel episode. Now that Gabby knows Ari is missing, she'll give Xander updates and cry in his arms. Xander will serve as a surprising source of comfort for Gabby as they have another bonding session. Meanwhile, Day's spoilers say Ari and Holly's attempt to find an escape route will fail. Despite Holly and Ari's best efforts to plot a getaway, it seems they'll need a real rescue to get out of this hostage jam. Tate Black has enough money in his savings account to hopefully free Ari and Holly, but there are plenty of ways this exchange could go wrong. Perhaps that's why Rafe will ultimately get an SOS call. Day's spoilers say Tate and Doug Williams III will rely on Rafe's help to get Holly and Ari home safely, but the Loan Shark goons could cause more drama. It looks like Sean Brady will eventually get involved, so that could create problems since Doug's been warned not to call the cops. Other Days' spoilers indicate that Sophia Choi will continue to fret over Melinda Trask's plan. Sophia just called Amy Choi to say she was in Chicago to meet with a potential adoptive couple, so that was step 1. Step 2 may be making it seem like Sophia suddenly went into labor and had the baby in Chicago too. Although Sophia will fear this could all end in disaster, Melinda will remain confident that it'll all work out. In the town square, Chad DiMera will enjoy a day out with Charlotte DiMera, so they'll run into Felicity Green and share a sweet chat with her. Chad will bump into Kat Green as well, so they'll deal with more awkwardness as they catch up. Despite Kat and Chad's obvious feelings for each other, they still haven't made it out of the friend zone. Since Kat is investigating E.J. DiMera as part of a case with Rafe, she'll have to keep more secrets from Chad and raise additional suspicions. Days of Our Lives spoilers say things will remain complicated for Chad and Kat, so stay tuned for news on what's next for these two. Rafe comes downstairs to find Gabby starting to panic over getting no response from Ari. She just assumes Ari's punishing her for embarrassing her, and she tells Rafe about the condoms she gave her daughter. You what? The Hernandez family doesn't need another unwanted pregnancy. That's Leo's cue to come in with Tesoro, but he's got to go report for jury duty, and Tesoro is his ticket to get out of it. He takes the infant along to annoy the jury selection folks, which disappoints Rafe, who was looking forward to looking after him. Gabby knows he always wanted kids, but there's still time. Besides, Ari adores him. Rafe cautions his sister to ease up on the constant messages to Ari. She's a teenager who needs space. Rafe suggests that instead of driving up there and freaking her daughter out, Gabby can just call the hotel and see if she checked in. Gabby does, and finds out neither Ari nor Holly checked in. That's when the panic really starts to set in, despite Rafe trying to talk her down. If there was an accident, they'd have known already. Rafe promises to put out some feelers, because they haven't been missing long enough for the police to do anything. He runs out, promising it'll be okay. Holly and Ari, meanwhile, wake up, though both admit to not sleeping, in the storage room they're trapped in when they spot a paper bag with water. Ari's about to drink when Holly rushes over to stop her. It could be poison! Ari points out that they're hostages. If the guy wanted them dead, he wouldn't have offered blankets. Holly just wishes she could call Grandma Maggie. She could end this all right now. She isn't sure their families even know they're missing. Ari's sure her mom is having a total meltdown. If her anxiety is out of control, Uncle Rafe is already searching for them. Or someone found her class ring, Holly suggests. Ari pulls out some food and hands it over, telling Holly again, it's not poisoned. They need strength in case they have to fight for their lives. If Doug doesn't come through, who knows what'll happen? Ari's ticked at him, but Holly still tries defending him. He paid them off. There's no reason for this, though loan sharks aren't exactly known for being reasonable. Ari's still annoyed at him, but Holly points out that he seemed to be trying to push them away for their own safety. Yeah, Ari sighs. That tracks. But he still lied to both of them by omission by not mentioning to either that he knows them. Tate checks in with Belle at home, surprised to hear jury selection is already beginning. They both think he's innocent, but she has to prosecute the case. They move on to talking about Sophia about to give birth, but Tate thinks she's been acting weird. She was okay with him going to the lake, though. Not that that panned out, since Holly's gone MIA. He's starting to worry. Doug calls the Salem Inn and asks for Gwen. She doesn't answer, so he plans to head over and try to grab the necklace. Before he can leave, Tate knocks on his door, barges in, and demands to know where Holly is. He knows Doug was lying. Tate refuses to leave, so Doug tries hauling him out by force. But then Tate finds an envelope with photos of Holly&Ari and accuses him of stalking the teens. He's not, but someone else is. Doug relents. They're in trouble, and it's his fault. He fills Tate in, who starts spinning his wheels, trying to figure out what to do. Doug cautions him not to tell the police or even Rafe, because they'll probably view him the same way. Tate snaps at him that he should have asked him. He's been saving up to buy a car. How much does he need? We don't hear, but Tate's horrified by what he's told. Luckily, he's still got enough, but he needs to get the cash from the bank. Doug's overjoyed for the help, but Tate tells him he can thank him by packing his bags, leaving Salem and never going near the girls again. Done! Amy's walking through the square when she calls Sophia, who takes a deep breath and answers. Amy asks if she's okay. She checked on her this morning, but didn't see her in her room. Are you home now? No, Sophia says. She's in Chicago, meeting with a couple who wants her baby. What? Amy demands to know what she's talking about. Sophia says her new lawyer found them and it's happening fast. She didn't want to waste time talking this over. The baby's due any day now. Amy's not having it, but she gets a notification that she needs to report to jury duty. She wants to skip it and head to meet the couple. Sophia insists she can handle it on her own, but Amy won't have it. She wants to be there with her. No. You already ruined one adoption for me, Sophia snaps. I won't let you ruin another. And she hangs up. EJ's at home, going through photos from the shooting, then gets to the gun, hears a gunshot in his mind, and jumps. Why can't I remember? He sighs. He then heads over to the court and finds Belle already there. They just look at each other as Belle tries ignoring EJ until he tells her he didn't seduce her. He made love to her. Because you wanted me to drop the charges against Johnny, Belle says. Also, because he wanted her, EJ counters. Belle tells him they need to keep things professional in the courtroom. He knows, but he wants to talk more later in private. And keep space from each other in public too, Belle says. For Johnny's sake, in this courtroom, they're adversaries. EJ smirks at her. Out in the courthouse vestibule, Amy stalks in, yelling at her husband on the phone to find Sophia, while Leo asks her to keep it down for the baby. Amy hangs up and comes over, apologizing, saying she hopes she didn't wake him. Leo tells her he's fostering the baby after he was dropped off at the firehouse. Poor little guy, Amy sighs, then starts playing peekaboo with her grandson. He really likes you, Leo says. Jury selection begins and everyone heads inside, where EJ and Amy spot each other, much to her dismay. They get into things, and Amy flat out tells him she can't be impartial. EJ is a miserable human being she hates, and his trigger-happy son ruined everything for his daughter. Leo's outside, complaining to himself, when Amy comes out to tell him she was dismissed. She just wanted to say goodbye to the adorable baby. Inside, Belle laments to EJ that Amy Choi isn't the only one who can't be impartial with the Damaras. EJ, in turn, banters with her until Leo wanders in with the baby bassinet. He freezes. Oh no! No, no, no! He tells them that Tesoro is his responsibility and he's needed. Belle points out that he's got 4 adults at home capable of helping out. Fine. But he's a journalist, so everything here is fodder for the paper. EJ points out that he can't write about anything if he's on the jury, much to Leo's dismay. Belle and EJ then talk him into being chosen for the jury, much to his horror. In the end, Belle and EJ are left alone in the courtroom. Happy things are going well so far. Except this should have never come to trial, EJ says. He's frustrated that he can't remember what happened that night. That would fix all of this. Belle's surprised he hasn't made something up, but he knows what it's like to be wrongfully accused. Belle snarkily knows that he can't lie, because when the truth comes out, he'll look bad. But she's got an idea to unlock his memories. Gabby calls Ari again and leaves a message, almost out of her mind, when Leo comes in complaining about being chosen for Johnny Jury. "So what?" she demands. He can't write about it now, but he's got an idea left to get out of it. Rafe gets back with news. Holly's car is still in Salem with their bags. They never left. Gabby loses it. "Where's my daughter?" Sophia calls Melinda, panicking about where she is and telling her that her mom called. She's freaking out. Tate, meanwhile, is rushing through the square when Amy stops him and tells him that Sophia's in Chicago meeting with a couple. He's shocked, but he can't help. He has a friend he needs to help and runs off, much to her fury. Doug texts his loan shark, telling them to meet in an hour, but if Ari and Holly are hurt, the deal is off. Ari tells Holly they have to find their own way out. They can't wait for someone to save them. Days of Our Lives spoilers and updates reveal Ariana Ari Horton might learn Tesoro belongs to Sophia Choi. DC. But here's why she may choose to remain silent. Additionally, it's important to note that Ari will find herself entangled in a kidnapping frenzy during the week of July 14th-18th, so that would put a crimp in any reveal. Ari and Holly Jonas were kidnapped together, allowing them to bond over this traumatic ordeal. Dual spoilers indicate that while in captivity, Holly and Ari have the opportunity to converse, leading Ari to realize just how deeply Holly cares for Tate Black. Holly might have confessed that she had a brief interest in Doug Williams III, but it's Tate who truly holds her heart. Essentially, the show is leveraging this entire abduction scenario to deepen Ari's friendship with Holly and encourage her support for Holly's relationship with Tate. Given that Ari has her sights set on Doug for herself, it would be advantageous for her if Holly and Tate continue their romance. Ari's efforts to prevent Sophia's planned sabotage could be tied to her desire to help Sophia move on from Tate. In any event, Sophia is holding on to a monumental secret since she gave birth to Tate's kid and placed him in the safe haven box at the fire station. Ari has no clue at this stage, but she has already encountered Tate and Sophia's child. Javi Hernandez and Leo Stark are looking after the little one named Tesoro within the Hernandez home. So according to upcoming spoilers, Ari will get to see their further bonding with the baby firsthand. There's a strong possibility that this will evolve into an adoption tale, as Leo and Javi may struggle to part with Tesoro. Javi and Leo could embark on a path toward parenthood, which is another aspect to consider. When you take into account all these dimensions of the narrative, it becomes clear why the dual writers might have Ari discover Sophia's secret. Sophia could accidentally reveal something or provide Ari with enough hints to uncover the truth on her own. A part of Ari might feel compelled to be honest, yet she will have numerous valid reasons to hold back. If Ari spills the beans, she might fret that the baby drama which initially caused Holly and Tate to split will flare up again. This could make Ari anxious about her chances of keeping Doug, especially since he is so taken with Holly. Additionally, Ari wouldn't want to jeopardize the family that Javi and Leo are striving to build. This situation could become incredibly complicated for Ari, and that's precisely why she's the ideal person to uncover what Sophia is concealing. According to Days of Our Lives spoilers, Sophia will trick Tate with a fake adoption in the upcoming weeks, but Ari might receive updates on some startling Tesoro news in the future. Days of Our Lives spoilers for the week of July 21st reveal there will be some shockers and bombshells. Tony DiMera will get sneaky. Sophia Choi likely faces complications with her fake baby story. Plus, Rafe Hernandez could be the hero in Ari Horton and Holly Jonas' rescue. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the Peacock soap opera. Let's start off with Ari and Holly's kidnapping and hostage situation. The two girls are in grave danger unless Doug Williams III can pay up. Doug has an idea, but it involves stealing the Horton heirloom necklace again. That's a big risk for Doug to take, and he might not even be successful. Despite Doug and Tate Black getting into a brawl, they will unite to save the girls. We know that Rafe provides some assistance to Tate and Doug, so Rafe could play the hero in this situation. Once Gabby Hernandez finds out that Ari is safe, then Tony will have a proposition for her. Tony will ask Gabby to use her powers of seduction on Philip Kyriakis and Xander Cook Kyriakis, Days of Our Lives. Spoilers for the week of July 21st reveal that after Sophia tells Amy Choi her fake baby story, then she'll need to tell Tate. Now that Tate knows Ari and Holly are safe, it will be time for him to deal with another bombshell. However, I wonder if Sophia might slip, or perhaps Tate will suspect something is off. Tate will also be upset that Sophia gave away the baby to people without notifying him first. Tate wanted his family to meet the baby before giving it away, so he might get really angry over Sophia's actions. Over with Kat Green, her secrets will start to make Chad DiMera nervous. Chad has no idea that Kat is a secret agent. However, the fact that Kat is also the one who impersonated Abigail DiMera will make Chad concerned about her secrets. It could have Chad coming to the wrong conclusions, especially since some people are against the relationship. If Chad questions her, Kat won't be able to tell the whole truth without risking the entire case. Which storyline are you looking forward to seeing the most during the week of July 24, 2025? Share your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember to keep watching the soap on Peacock to find out what happens next. Days of Our Lives spoilers note that Marlena Evans is a legendary soap opera character, and fans could never imagine anyone in that role other than the iconic Deidre Hall. Still, the daytime drama actress recently conducted an interview stating she almost passed the character up. The new soapy podcast, hosted by daytime drama vets Rebecca Budig, along with Greg Reichart, released its episode 2, and Deidre Hall was featured as their guest this time around. Hall talked about her long soapy career, some major moments on screen, as well as her time on The Young and the Restless. With that said, Hall also touched upon the fact that she almost didn't take on the role of Marlena Evans. Hall explains that while during screen testing, producers try not to have the same people in the room testing, but she did happen to see a couple of women. Hall thought, "Oh my word, look who's testing for this. I tested and I got a call saying that I had gotten it." Based on the competition that was there, Hall believed that if producers chose her, the others must have turned it down first. So why would they do that unless something was wrong? So she turned it down too. Her agent called back 3 weeks later, questioning her on her move, as Hall had relayed wanting to work on a soap. She told him something must have been wrong with the part if everyone turned it down. Austin, and this is when her agent assured her that she was their first choice. Thank goodness she did, because the Marlena Evans character is truly a once-in-a-lifetime role when it comes to the land of daytime drama, right? What would have happened if Deidre Hall had never stepped foot into the land of Salem? Share your thoughts in the comment section. Tune into the new Peacock soap regularly for all the drama, and check out this site often for the best Days of Our Lives news, updates, and spoilers. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Thursday, July 17th, suggest some major moments in the land of Salem. 2 characters' lives are in danger, while a parent hears some scary news, and jury selection starts in a major case in town. What's set to go down on Thursday? Time to find out. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Thursday, July 17th indicate that Holly Jonas and Ariana Ari Horton will fear for their lives, and rightfully so. They are being held captive by a thug who is threatening to kill them. Will Doug Williams III come through for them? Speaking of, Gabby Hernandez will get news that is every parent's worst nightmare when she learns Ari never made it to the lake. Gabby will likely be in panic mode. However, she won't be the only one trying to connect the dots. Across town, Tate Black will confront Doug III, and it looks like the 2 young men will get into a physical altercation. Will Doug tell Tate about the trouble he's in and the trouble he's caused Holly and Ari? Read this. Days of Our Lives. Spoilers, heartbroken Sophia wants her baby back, kidnaps Tesoro. Regardless of who's to blame, they both need to get their acts together if they want to save the 2 ladies. Meanwhile, Sophia Choi will tell her mom, Amy Choi, a lie. This wouldn't be the first time she told her mother a fib, but considering she's about to spin a major tale about giving birth and her baby's adoptive parents, this lie might be the biggest one she's said yet. Finally, Days of Our Lives spoilers for Thursday reveal that Belle Black and EJ DiMera will begin jury selection in Johnny DiMera's trial. Unfortunately, the 2 lawyers have been squabbling this week due to Johnny's case, and it looks like things will only get worse for BEJ coupling as the trial unfolds. Are you excited about Thursday's show? Share your thoughts in the comments section. Days of Our Lives spoilers for Friday, July 18th push Tate and Doug to getting help from Rafe when it comes to Holly and Ari's disappearance. Holly and Ari have been taken hostage, and Tate figured out pretty fast that it's all Doug's fault. They also figured out that they are useless and helpless little boys when it comes to dealing with real criminals, like the ones Doug chose to borrow money from. So they turn to an adult, Rafe. We know Rafe will do anything to save his niece and her friend, but will any of them get there in time? Meanwhile, Gabby is in full-out panic mode, but you won't believe who pops up to comfort her. Guess. Okay, we'll tell you. Xander. Gabby is comforted by Xander. Guess her helping him out with Victoria was a real bonding experience. What could this possibly mean? Sophia gave up her newborn because she wanted to get on with her life, and because she suspected Tate and Amy wouldn't let her once they set eyes on the baby. Sophia was absolutely certain this was what she had to do. But now that she's been separated from her son, she's starting to have second thoughts. Is it too late? Kat and Chad keep running into each other. It's awkward, not just because she pretended to be his dead wife, but because she's working with Rafe to bring down all the Damaras. Maybe this couple wasn't meant to be, so maybe they should call it quits before they actually become one. Days of Our Lives, spoilers photos for the July 18th, 2025 episode, tease some phone tag and an unlikely couple. Things are getting intense in Salem now that everyone knows the girls are missing, while chemistry continues to grow between Chad and Kat. Rafe assures Gabby that Ari will be found safe. Phone calls erupt in Salem. Does Rafe have an update for Kat on the EJ investigation? Will a concerned Tate called Sean over at the Salem PD to report a missing Holly? In the Thursday, July 17th episode of Days of Our Lives, Salem is starting to figure out that there is something wrong with Holly and Ari. Tate doubles back to Doug III and finds out what's really going on with his girlfriend. And Sophia's in Chicago, starting her and Melinda's plan to cover for the fact that she already gave birth and gave up her baby. Doug III has no way of coming up with the money. He checks to see if Gwen is in her hotel room, so he's so desperate to prevent anything from happening to Holly and Ari that he's willing to try and steal the Hortons' necklace again. Thankfully, Tate enters the picture and gets Doug III to admit that Holly and Ari are in trouble. Doug III explains that he owes this loan shark money. Ultimately, Tate offers to use his savings to cover Doug's debts and secure Holly and Ari's freedom. However, there's one condition. Once he pays the shady loan shark and Holly and Ari are free, Tate tells Doug he needs to leave town and never come back. So, is this the beginning of the end of Doug III in Salem? Why would he want to stay in Salem anyway? He has had nothing but bad luck, and he only has himself to blame. He never should have stolen Alice's necklace. Sophia lets her mom know that she was in Chicago, meeting with a couple looking to potentially adopt her and Tate's baby. She also let Mrs. Choi know that she wasn't able to reach Tate to fill him in. She decided to head to Chicago on her own and take care of it. On top of that, Sophia made sure she didn't tell her mom where she was. It was a fact that frustrated Amy, even though she told her husband to drive to Chicago and start looking, which is a little nuts. So it will probably play out that while Sophia is in Chicago meeting the prospective parents, she will suddenly give birth to her baby. And her story, as we've seen in previews, will be that she let the couple adopt her son right away. Tate will be upset about this, right? She shut him out of this crucial part of the process. Seeing Amy unknowingly bond with her grandson at the courthouse was touching. Maybe if Tate and Sophia hadn't had a couple lined up by the time she gave birth, Amy might have decided to raise the baby with her husband. Sophia still could have gone to college, knowing her parents were taking care of the baby currently known as Tesoro. Will Sophia and Melinda get away with this plan? For how long? Let us know in the comments. Hardly anybody on Days of Our Lives likes Melinda Trask. We actually do. We think she was only doing her job all those times that, as district attorney, she arrested beloved Salem citizens for the silly crime of breaking the law. Doesn't Melinda know that people should be charged based on vibes, as the young people say, and not on silly things like evidence and eyewitness testimony? Now that she's a corporate attorney, We don't think she's any worse than anyone else in the business. And the not selling Julie back her necklace. Eh? That pales in comparison to some other crimes Salem has seen, including ones committed by Julie. So, we're chill with Melinda, but we do have to wonder why she never ever learns. Melinda told Sophia that she's helping Sophia with her baby scheme because Melinda was once in Sophia's position, a pregnant teenager who gave up her child. That's sweet. She's been supportive and helpful and, oh yeah, criminal. Melinda helping Sophia involves her helping the teen cover up that she's already given birth to a baby boy, left him at the fire station, lied to her mother and the baby's father, then headed to Chicago, where Sophia will claim she went into labor, gave birth, and handed her daughter over to her adoptive parents immediately, which is why neither Amy nor Tate will ever lay eyes on the tot. First, Melinda is an official of the court. Forging papers like that can get her disbarred. But more importantly, had Melinda learned nothing from the Sloan baby debacle? Melinda helped Sloan pass off Nicole's newborn son as the boy Sloan and Eric adopted, which included claiming the baby had died and was cremated before his parents could see him. This went very, very badly. So why is Melinda supervising a rerun? Here are your Days of Our Lives spoilers for Friday, July 18th, 2025. Gabby is completely freaking out, knowing that Ariana is most likely in big, big trouble. She tried not to be an overbearing mom and let Ari enjoy her time at the lake. But when Ari didn't return her text messages, Gabby knew something was wrong. Learning that Ari and Holly never made it out of Salem sends Gabby into a tailspin, but she tries to trust that Rafe will find them. To that end, Gabby goes to work for a distraction and finds Xander still trying to calm Victoria. She helped him out the other day, so will she be able to do it again when she is a wreck? It looks like Xander has to calm Gabby this time, as she tells him what is going on with Ari. Xander and Gabby find it odd that they seem to get along so well, which is something neither one of them ever expected when they started working together. Could there be something more beneath the surface since they are both reluctantly single at the moment? Stranger things have happened in Salem. While Gabby tries to keep her mind off things, Rafe is hard at work trying to locate his niece and former stepdaughter. Tate is also hard at work trying to get the goons to let Holly&Ari go. He said he had the money to give Doug the third, but will the goons accept it or just demand more? Every time Doug thinks he has them paid off, he gets pulled back in and ends up owing even more. Now, the two girls he has been involved with are in trouble only because of him. Can he get them out of this sticky situation? All Holly and Ari can do is pray that their loved ones notice they are missing. So far, no family seems to care about poor Holly, but Ari's family is doing what they can. At least Holly has Tate on her side. Welcome to the Days of Our Lives Daily YAPP for a quick, and by that I mean you're already halfway done, recap of the most amazing or what the heck did we just watch moments on today's episode. Let's get to it. When Sophia's domineering mother Amy arrived on the Days of Our Lives scene, we just saw her as a prim and proper helicopter mom who needed to have everything in her life just so. And while that may be true, she has been growing on us of late. Her jury selection scene solidified one thing for us. Amy Choi is a force to be reckoned with, while also providing some excellent comic relief. In recent weeks, we discovered that Amy also has 2 young sons, but on July 17th, we finally learned she has a husband named Sam, whom she orders around like he is one of her kids. We have no idea if Sam obeys her like he's a child, but he likely does, or his life would be miserable. When she got into the courtroom and unapologetically told EJ and Belle that she could not be an objective juror because EJ was a miserable excuse for a human being and Johnny was trigger-happy, we couldn't stop laughing. Amy is not just some caricature of a mother. She is someone with her own personality who is not afraid to speak her mind, especially when it can get her out of an inconvenient jury summons. We also saw the softer side of Amy when she unknowingly met her grandson for the first time. Amy actually is a good mom. She just has to learn her boundaries, something Sophia knows all too well. Want more details? We got you! Soap Central has the best full duel recaps on the internet. You can even go back over 30 years and read each and every one of them. If you can't wait until the next episode, we have daily spoilers too. And whatever you do this weekend, Do not. Seriously, do not. Forget to read the 2 scoops for some laughs in the as close as we can come to being a watching party without actually being a show. And the best part is if you agree or disagree, we want to know. As always, share your comments below. Here is your Days of Our Lives recap for Thursday, July 17th, 2025. Ari and Holly remained locked up in a strange storage room, huddled under a blanket. Holly wondered if it was morning, but Ari said there was no way to know. They noticed a paper bag across the room with bottled water. Holly lunged for Ari as she tried to drink it. Holly warned Ari that the water could be poisoned. Ari didn't think so because the kidnapper just wanted money from Doug, and they were of no use dead. Holly wanted to call Maggie for the money. Ari wished they could too, but instead were waiting on stupid Doug. Holly wondered if their families had even noticed they were missing. Ari was sure that her mother had to be having a meltdown by now. Would it be unusual for you to blow her off? Holly asked. Ari realized that Holly had a point. They still hoped that someone had figured out they were missing. Let's just try to relax, Ari said as she handed Holly a granola bar. She was surprised when Holly seemed to be defending Doug, saying he never intended for this to happen to them. Holly pointed out that Doug was probably trying to push them away to protect them. Gabby was alarmed when she realized that Ari hadn't responded to any of the texts she had sent the day before. She's probably just having fun at the lake, but you think she could at least take 2 seconds to let her mother know that she's at the very least alive, Gabby said. Gabby convinced herself that Ari was giving her the silent treatment for embarrassing her by giving her a box of condoms for the lake trip. The last thing that this family needs is an unwanted pregnancy, Gabby declared as Leo appeared in the kitchen with Tesoro. When Leo announced he had to report for jury duty, Rafe offered to watch the baby, but Leo insisted Tesoro would go with him to the courthouse. He was sure the baby would get him dismissed quickly. Once Leo was gone, Gabby changed the subject back to Ari. Rafe felt he was in the doghouse with his niece because he ratted her out for seeing Doug III. Rafe had to talk Gabby out of driving up to the lake and checking on Ari herself. Rafe suggested she call the hotel and see if Ari had checked in. Gabby nearly went into a panic when she learned that neither Holly nor Ari had checked in. Rafe tried to calm her down and promised to put some feelers out to find them. In Marlena's townhouse, Belle searched for her phone as Tate questioned her about Johnny's trial. Apparently, jury selection was beginning just 2 weeks after Johnny was arrested. Both Tate and Belle admitted that they believed Johnny was innocent. Still, I have to prosecute the case to the best of my ability, whether EJ likes it or not, Belle sighed. Tate noted that it was a good thing that Johnny and Chanel didn't adopt his and Sophia's baby because that would have been a huge mess. Belle changed the subject and asked how the lake trip was. Tate admitted Holly was a no-show and he had no idea what happened. Now that a whole night has gone by, I'm starting to really worry about her, Tate said. Doug made sure that Gwen wasn't in her Salem Inn room so he could break in and get his hands on the famous necklace. He looked at the photo of Ari and Holly on his phone. Just hold on a little longer. I'm going to get you guys out of this mess, he promised. Doug soon opened the door to Tate, who demanded to know where Holly was. He was sure that Doug had been lying to him the day before. They almost came to blows until Tate noticed the photos of Ari and Holly and accused Doug of stalking them. Doug finally admitted that Ari and Holly were in trouble. Tate offered to give Doug money from his savings to make sure Holly and Ari were safe. Then, he learned how much Doug actually owed. He had the money and went to the bank to get it, but warned Doug that he needed to leave town as payment. While sitting in a hotel room, Sophia answered the phone to talk to her mother. Amy wanted to know why she didn't answer when she knocked on her bedroom door earlier. Sophia said she was in Chicago to meet with a couple who wanted to adopt her baby. Amy was shocked and horrified that Sophia had traveled on her own. Sophia claimed she was with her new lawyer, but Amy wanted to know why she wasn't informed. Sophia pointed out that the baby was due any day, and she didn't want to waste time consulting with her mother. Amy was ready to skip jury duty and head to Chicago, so a panicked Sophia tried to stop her. "You already ruined one adoption for me. I'm not going to let you ruin another," Sophia asserted. When Amy got to the courthouse, she told someone on the phone that nobody cared that she had a pregnant daughter who needed her. "Sam, can you just drive to Chicago and look for our daughter?" Amy asked. Leo requested that Amy keep it down so Tesoro could sleep. Amy hung up and apologized. "They're so much easier to deal with when they're that age. All you have to worry about are feeding schedules and diaper changes. When they grow up, you have no idea how little control you have over them," Amy lamented. Leo said he didn't have to worry because he was just fostering him. Amy felt bad for the baby when she learned he had been dropped off at the firehouse shortly after birth. As Amy and Leo waited to be called, Amy played with the baby, who happened to be her grandson. At the Dimira mansion, EJ went over police photos from his shooting. He was disturbed when he remembered the gunshot. He was frustrated because he couldn't remember the details from that night. Later, EJ met Belle in the courtroom as they prepared to meet potential jurors. They remained silent for a few moments, until EJ finally spoke. "For the record, I didn't seduce you so you'd drop the charges against Johnny. I made love to you because I wanted to," EJ insisted. "But also because you wanted me to drop the charges against Johnny," Belle said. "But also because I wanted you," EJ replied. Belle asked EJ to keep things professional in the courtroom. EJ asked to talk about the matter later, in private. Belle agreed to do it. When potential jurors walked into the courtroom, EJ and Amy made eye contact. EJ told her that the case she was called for was the People versus John Roman Demera. EJ then questioned her and asked if she could be impartial and only focus on the facts. "No, Mr. Demera, I cannot. Because you are a miserable human being, and I'd like to tear you limb from limb for all the trouble you've caused my daughter," Amy said, matter-of-factly. When Belle asked the same, Amy replied, "No, I cannot. His trigger-happy son ruined everything for Sophia." Amy was quickly dismissed by both attorneys. Leo was surprised to see Belle and EJ when he entered the courtroom. He quickly used Tesoro as his excuse to be dismissed. Belle pointed out that he had 4 other adults in his home who could watch the baby. So, Leo ended up on Johnny's jury after telling them he was very open-minded and thought any number of people could have shot EJ. Once jury selection was over, EJ confessed how frustrating it was not to remember what happened. "The key to exonerating my son is simply recalling what happened that night," EJ said. Belle then came up with an idea to help EJ remember. The new and dismissed jurors had their own encounters after court. Leo told Gabby he was selected for the Johnny Dimera case. Amy ran into Tate and told him that Sophia was in Chicago to meet with potential adoptive parents. Tate promised he'd talk about the matter later because he had to get to the bank.